Hey everybody, in today's episode, it's myself, Benjamin B, and Destiny. Destiny comes on the show to discuss 8 years of continuous sobriety. She just celebrated an absolute blessing. If you know somebody that is struggling with getting sober, this is definitely an episode that you want to tune into. But before we get into it, I want to talk about today's sponsor, SoberLink. It's a portable breathalyzer device. We oftentimes talk about having tools in our toolbox when it comes to maintaining our sobriety, and SoberLink is definitely something that you should check out. You can schedule your test times whenever throughout the day that is most conducive for you. You can set up an accountability partner, maybe a sponsor or a trusted family member. It's tamper-proof, you can't break it, and it has facial recognition. I can't just pass it off to Ben or Destiny and say, hey, blow in this thing for me. It doesn't work that way. It does not take the place of Alcoholics Anonymous, does not take the place of addiction treatment. It is something to add to your toolbox, maybe when you transition out of treatment and you are involved in a 12-step program. If you're going back to work, if you're transitioning back home, SoberLink is definitely something that you want to check out. And because we're partnered with them, they're giving you 50% off your first device. All you have to do is go to soberlink.com/RRT. Soberlink.com/RRT to receive 50% off your first device. Enjoy the show.
I don't really know why, but I want to justify ripping someone's head off.
Here we are, Real Recovery Talk. I'm your host, Tom Conrad. In today's episode, we've got Benjamin B.
What's happening, everyone?
And we've got Destiny. First things first, thank you for tuning in on the podcast app, whichever one that you choose to use. And thank you for watching on YouTube. In the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can always reach us. info@realrecoverytalk.com. Again, that's info@realrecoverytalk.com. And ultimately, we want to help you turn your message to your message, right, friends?
Yes.
I'm going to leave this.
Yeah, let's leave it. We literally... This was a fun intro. Breathe over there, Destiny.
Ben, what's going on? Anything new in your world?
No, sir. Just me and Mo holding down the fort.
Yeah. Has he diarrheaed anywhere?
No.
Over the house?
Mo is old. He's old. He has a hard time holding it together.
Yeah. So does Destiny. Not on the flatulence side of things, more just with the laughing.
Oh, man.
So, anyways, we invited Destiny on the show again because Destiny just celebrated. Why don't you tell us, Destiny?
8 years. Just celebrated 8 years, June 17th.
June 17th, 8 years of continuous sobriety, and that includes nights and weekends, for those of you wondering. So we wanted to bring Destiny on the show really to talk about just her overall journey, what it's been like over the last 8 years, what has transpired over those 8 years, and hopefully give you some inspiration for yourself or for a loved one that this can be done, because I will tell you, if Destiny can do it, anybody can. So
that is true. Let me ask you, though, Destiny, real quick, sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, having somebody in your life that is addicted to drugs or alcohol, it can be stressful. We totally get it. We've navigated hundreds, if not thousands, of situations just like yours. This is why we developed the Family Reconnect program with you in mind, the family member or loved one. I call it the ever-changing landscape of addiction, and it can be stressful. A lot of times you get angry, frustrated, worried, scared, just a lot of emotion, but you need support. You need people like us and your peers that can come alongside you to help you navigate this situation. This is why we put this program together. We meet every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We're a few weeks in now, and it's an absolute blast. We love it, and we want to invite you there. So if this is something that you're interested in, go to realrecoverytalk.com/FRC, and I'll see you on Tuesday.
How did it feel to have Tom Conrad show up for your Medallion presentation?
My gosh. It made my entire year. It made my entire year. You were the last person, no offense, that I expected to be there. And when I saw you, oh my God, little girl came out. I was so freaking happy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, extremely happy.
I'm glad I could make your year.
Yeah, you did.
So Amanda is out of town, or is out of town. She comes back tonight with my kids, and I was laying on the couch, and I'm like, I'm bored. I don't know. And that's the thing, when you have kids, and it's like you don't the kids aren't around, and your wife's not around. You're like, what do I do? I don't understand. Like, and so, anyways, don't. Hang on a second. I'm going to bring this back.
Okay.
So I called Steve. I'm like, Steve, what are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing. I'm at Eric's eating pizza. And he was like, I'm like, what are you doing tonight? And he says, oh, I'm going to the 8:30 meeting. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, all right. I said, is somebody getting a medallion or something there? And he's like, oh, yeah, Destiny. I'm like, oh, I'm going. And so I was like, but don't tell her I'm going. And he's like, you're really going? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get in the shower right now. And so then I got in the shower and I called Ben, and Ben was actually on his way to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going. Don't tell Destiny I'm going. And so I went.
Mm-hmm.
But had you not been picking up your medallion, I wouldn't have gone.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, you did bring that around, because I was going to take back that statement. I was like, not because you wanted to support or anything, just because you were bored.
No.
Okay,
No, I
'cause-
could listen.
All right.
I would rather go outside in my front yard and cut it with a pair of scissors than go to that meeting on an 8:30 on a Friday night. But
At least
because
he's
you were
honest.
getting
Yeah.
your medallion,
Mm-hmm.
I went.
Okay.
And I was reminded why I did not like that meeting when I was there. The best part of that meeting was seeing you pick up your medallion.
This is why they say, you bring up a good point, like
Mhm.
why you got to find your tribe. This is Tom openly admitting he can't stand this certain meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Tom likes the meetings with the old grumpy guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
We're
my
like-
people.
Yeah, I like the young troublemakers. We all got our spot.
The dark setting and the cigar smoking old man. That's Thomas. That's his setting.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the younger crowd.
I mean, it was a great time, though. We went to dinner afterwards, went to, where'd we go? Miller's Ale House.
Mhm.
And that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
We went with Kevin. Kevin Lanning joined us. Kevin Lanning is the host of Rise Above with Kevin Lanning.
Mm-hmm.
He was just on the show. So it was fun. There was, 6 of us? Us 3, Stevie Buckets, who's been on the show quite a bit, Kevin, and then another friend of ours.
Luke.
Luke.
Yeah, which that was fun too, seeing Luke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, anyways, Ben, kick us off.
Me. All right. 8 years.
8 years.
Oh, hang on. And the other cool part about that was Ben actually presenting you the medallion.
Yeah, that was really special. And because for those of you who don't know, Ben has seen me almost from day one. So he's seen the defects, the growth, the healing, the mistakes. He has seen it all. So that was really special for you to be able to present me.
Essentially, that, like Tom opened up with, if Destiny can do it, anyone could do it. And essentially, that's what my message, like presenting your medallion, was. Obviously, you said what you have to say afterwards. But like at the end of the day, like you literally had nothing to start with. I'll give the real elevator version, because you've been on before and we've talked about it before. But at the time, no driver's license, no high school diploma. You were on house arrest. Like, I remember you walking to the Gardens Mall to go work the salon in the middle of, I don't know, what do you consider Florida? It's hot as the sun in the middle of August and July.
100-degree weather,
Yep.
easily. No wind.
Literally walking. And like we come across people nowadays that like aren't willing to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you did what you had to do. You had no other choice. But to where you're at today professionally, like you went, you got your GED. Not only that, you're now in school for nursing, and professionally, well, you're doing what you're doing now. And, you know, just my point is like for people that come in and they say like, I have nothing, it's like perfect. You can start a life, and and you did that in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Today you have your own place. You live independently by yourself. Like,
Yeah. And this is really for the new listeners, the people that have started listening to us recently. Take us in that last month, like before you actually, or whatever you feel like is pertinent, basically qualify yourself into like actually getting on June 17th.
I didn't get on the plane June 17th. June 17th was the last day that I got high. It was the last day that I overdosed.
Okay.
That was the last day that I overdosed. And from there, it just set up the path for me to go back to treatment. But June 17th was the last day that I got high because I overdosed and I ended up in the hospital. And when I got released, I was on very heavy watch until I made it to treatment. So that was the last day.
So you had, but you had obviously a very bad car crash.
Oh, yeah.
Jail time, homeless, like the whole deal.
So are we going to do like a quick summary?
Yeah, elevator version.
Elevator version. That's always so hard. All right, elevator version. I mean, raging alcoholic from, I don't know the dates, up until 2012. You mentioned the car accident. 2012 was almost in a fatal car accident, got put on painkillers. It's been talked about. We all know I have a very addictive personality, and that set the course for the substance abuse side of things. I mean, in that time up until 2017, like Ben, I've been homeless. I've overdosed countless times. I have literally had everything stripped from me and taken from me, not by choice and by choice. I've been homeless. I've been in jail. I literally had nothing.
You almost lost your leg.
I almost lost my leg. I was DOA, dead on arrival. I was nothing and I was going nowhere. It was talked about in the meeting where I picked up my medallion. I had been beaten to a point of submission. I had nothing else.
You know what jumped out to me that you mentioned the other night too? I forget at what point or why we were talking about it, but you were like, you overdosed, and then like the first thing you had to do is go to the probation officer. It wasn't like you overdosed and people felt bad, like, oh. It's like, nope, you overdosed, you're checking in with probation.
Because that's where everybody was. That's the point that I had pushed everybody to in my life, was I had overdosed and ended up in the hospital, and they didn't even stay in the hospital with me anymore at this point. Like, I got taken in the ambulance by myself. I was in a room. It was Baker Act, because in the state of Florida, you're automatically under a 72-hour watch, and they wouldn't even come up there with me anymore because they were so done with it. And they would call my PO, and he called my cell phone, and I had to report as soon as I discharged. Don't get to go home and shower, change clothes. I had to immediately go to his office when I left, and my grandmother came and picked me up and made sure that I went directly to his office because they were so done with me.
So I want to stay on that for just a second, because I think that's very impactful.
Okay.
What is going through your mind when you're at this point, knowing my family's not even coming to the hospital to see me? Like, I've pushed them so far away that, like, did that help you get to the point of making a change when you realize that, like, everybody's pretty much done with me at this point?
If I'm going to be completely transparent in that moment, no. I don't even know if I was capable of being considerate of other people's feelings, my own. Now, was I angry? Sure, I was angry at him, but I think I was more angry at the fact that they called my probation officer and they were supposed to be my family. That's the way that my mind was working, because I was caught up in that insanity. I wasn't able to take their feelings into consideration, or I just didn't care to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So it was more or less, I was just angry. They had turned their backs on me and got me in trouble and got in my way of getting high. That's what I was angry at.
Which I think is a very normal response. I mean, it generally can go one of two ways, right? Either there's a lot of guilt and shame. The people that love me the most, that I love the most, no longer want anything to do with me. Therefore, that kind of nudges us into making some form of change, or your situation, it's a very selfish and self-centered way of thinking about it. But because they did what they did, it got the court systems involved, the probation officer. Like, the family members couldn't drop the hammer on you, but the probation officer could.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that nudged you.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I never had any bad feelings. I mean, for those listening, for those who don't know, a big part of my story with my family is like overdosing at my mom's house and destroying her, and overdosing at my grandmother's house and destroying her.
Yeah.
Do you know? And that did kill me, even in my addiction, just because I saw it physically, how much it destroyed them, and I heard it too, because at that point, they didn't hold anything back. I knew it had literally almost killed them to see me physically, basically dead, you know? So there, you know, I did feel really bad. Now, I'll tell you, on the plane ride there, because I had had a couple days with like nothing in my system, oh my God, it was the worst plane ride ever. Just to know that I was like, it was the first moment that I think I had realized and known that like I was actually alone. I had literally burned everything. Everything. And the only person that I felt like in that moment that had my back was my PO, because he looked at me and said that I wasn't a criminal, I was a drug addict. And he gave me that opportunity to go back to treatment.
Wow.
You know?
So when you got down here, did you go to treatment?
I did.
Where'd you go? Well, not where, but like, did you go into like a detox residential PHP program?
So I went to detox residential in Mississippi, and then I came down here for PHP and IOP.
So and I know all the answers to these, but obviously people don't. The entirety of your treatment, how long would you say you were in?
Whoa, from start to finish this time that I stayed clean and sober?
Yeah.
What, probably 2 years in total?
Well, hang on. Treatment?
Well, I mean, I consider sober living to be in a treatment setting, but for treatment, I mean, I started at detox and I went all the way down to intensive outpatient. And then even from there, transferred into a sober living for over a year.
So you were in detox, residential, PHP, IOP. That spanned the course of 4 months, would you say?
Yeah, 4 to 5 months.
And then transitioned into sober living. And stayed there for the next, call it, year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, and the reason I bring that up is because, and I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this, and they're wanting to piecemeal this together. They're out of state. They have never been to treatment before, but they can't understand why I need to go somewhere. Why do I need to sit inside these groups? All I need is a therapist. All I need to do is stay busy. All the excuses in the world. I had this conversation yesterday. And it's kind of hard to have that conversation with somebody in that mindset that has never been to treatment before, because it's very normal to think that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you experienced in that time, going to treatment for 4 months and then sober living for a substantial amount of time, how much was that different than all of your other treatment attempts?
This time around?
Yeah, when it actually stuck. I mean, you had been to treatment multiple times before that.
Yeah.
What was different?
I got out of my own way. I got out of my own way and stopped trying to control things and stopped thinking that I knew everything, because every way that I had tried had not worked.
What was let me ask more specifically, the times that you went to treatment prior to this time, did you do just detox? Did you do like detox and then jump to an IOP? Did you do,
I want to say I did detox and residential, and then maybe just went into a sober living. And from there at the sober living relapsed. So no, I did not go through detox down to IOP and then into sober living. There were levels of care that were skipped in there for sure.
And just because I know these things.
Okay.
How did it work out going to treatment with your significant other?
Oh my gosh. Worst idea. Worst idea ever. Worst idea ever for anybody thinking about going to treatment with a significant other, family member, brother, sister. It's not a good idea, especially with a significant other.
Well, if I recall the story, you weren't exactly upfront, the two of you.
Going in?
And manipulated your way into going in as a couple.
Oh, yeah, we absolutely did. We did. Oh, am I supposed to break
Elaborate.
Down? Okay. All right. So, my ex had gone into treatment first, and this was another reason why the first time didn't work, because I didn't go. For me, I went because they weren't going to go to treatment unless I did. But we didn't say anything about it, and the only reason, so when I got there, they had us in the same detox room. Now, mind you, nothing happened, obviously. She had been there for a couple of days. I came in feeling like dog shit. So nothing happened, but I remember they woke us up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They brought me out of the room and they said, are you guys related? I said, no. And they said, well, you have the same address. And I said, oh, yeah, no, we're not related. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna separate you guys. I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But even being separated, man, it wasn't good. Neither one of us could 100% be ourselves. Obviously, it was a relationship and addiction. So there was turmoil and all sorts of stuff on each side. It was horrible. I mean, it got like physical almost in treatment. It wasn't good.
Like
fist fights with each other?
Real close. Yeah. From what I remember. Huh. And maybe even some punches might have been thrown. I don't know. It got really bad. Yeah.
Well, that's why we don't do couples here.
No, that's why nowhere should do couples. It's not a good idea.
Treatment centers that accept couples are going to be strictly a cash grab. Understand that. Treatment centers that accept couples is nothing more than a cash grab. I don't care if they have been married for 30 years. It's a cash grab. Nobody that is a couple that has a significant other should be in the same treatment center together at any time, point blank, period, ever. It's a cash grab. Stay away from them.
I'll touch on that. When I was doing my internship for my addictions hours, I was doing my hours at a place where they did have a couple. And this is the problem with it. I would go in there and just run groups for them. And I had this couple in there, and literally you could see they're both in relapse mode. So I'm doing my job. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I would say what I needed to say to one, and the other one would start defending them. And then all of a sudden you have two of them who are very sick, codependent on each other, coming at me as a facilitator, like justifying for each other. It was so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So sick.
Well, if we look at what treatment is designed to do, and I tell this to people when they're entering into the process, this is a time for you. This is the most selfish time of your life. When you're going to be in this treatment center, whether it's us or anywhere else, it's the most selfish time of your life. What that means is you focus solely on yourself with no outside noise. And you can't do that if you're a significant other or relative and we've seen it firsthand. Not here because we've been manipulated a couple of times, kind of with
speak
people.
For yourself.
Yeah,
I'm not taking credit for that.
Tom has been manipulated. Let's make that very clear.
We're joking about it because these two pulled a quick one.
Yeah, I mean, anybody
did.
would have. I mean, they did exactly what you did.
Yeah.
I got on the phone with this gentleman. He ended up in our program. A week later, this girl ends up in our program. Neither of them talked about one another. And turns out they, were doing the hanky-panky and turned themselves around. I guess that's just what it's all about, I guess.
Yeah. And neither one of them stayed sober.
Neither one of them stayed sober. And in fact, one of them is still ripping and running.
Years later.
4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So anyways, you did things obviously very different when, this time around.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that you could spare yourself the turmoil that you put yourself through. Granted, obviously, a lot of experiences and stuff, and it made you the person that you are today, but that doesn't need to be the case for everybody.
No.
I mean, one and done.
No,
I did it, one and done.
You hear it all the time. Relapse is a part of your story. It does not have to be. And I don't like when people say that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It literally, it does not have to be. It's all based on you. You come in and you do the work. One and done is so possible. It's ridiculous. Relapse does not have to be a part of your story at all. And I know a lot of people that have come in the first time and did the deal. And guess what? The solution worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it's made to do.
So take us on a journey over these last 8 years, Destiny. Some of the wins, some of the losses, good, the bad.
Wow, that's...
Do I need to get the tissue box ready?
No.
Okay.
No, not yet. Don't put that... Stop. No. I've done reflection through this anniversary, and the themes that keep coming up for me are like remaining teachable and staying open-minded. Because looking back on the 8 years, every year has been completely different. To where, like, if I can remember the first couple years, it was about the not getting high, the not getting drunk. It was the substance abuse while still working on myself and figuring out my identity. But what I've learned is I've had wins and losses every year. If I think about the losses, I honestly think the losses are probably the people that I've lost over the year. I don't like to look at other things as losses because it's life. And that's what I've learned about recovery is life is still going to happen. I've lost a lot of people. People have come in and out of my life. I have made mistakes. But I've been able to get through all of those with the solution that I've used from day one. And the wins, I mean, it's been mentioned. I came in, I got my GED. I'm in nursing school now. The friends and family that I've developed down here have been incredible. These last few years, though, I think it's been more emotional sobriety for me. Just continuing to grow as a person, as a woman. But even for like the anniversaries, they talk about one thing that really stood out to me this year is you get presented your medallion and it's always, how did you do it? Right? What'd you do? What do these last 8 years look like? And it finally clicked this time. You were there. My solution has been the same. And that is what's really standing out to me this year is my solution has never changed. They ask every year, how do you do it? And even not realizing it, every year I got up and I said the same thing. Because this solution I've used has worked 8 years for me. It's never failed. And I've seen the solution work in other people's lives, in your lives, in Ben's, the people that we work with, the people that we know. This solution is the same, and it has not failed me yet. So when I go through loss, when I go through, the losses in life, like I've got a solution that I've been using since 2017, and it's got me through. And I have a solution for my wins too. I continue to do the same thing I've done since day one, and it looks different, right? Like the details will look different, but it's the same solution.
What's the solution, Destiny?
The solution is the 12 steps. The solution is the program. The solution is giving away what has been so freely given to me.
What does that mean?
NA. What does that mean? Give away what's so freely given to me?
Yeah.
Sponsoring, helping, being of service. There are so many different ways that I give back. It's not one, there is no one way that I can give back. I give back in any way that I can.
She puts her shopping cart away.
I put my shopping cart away. I answer the phone when somebody calls. I show up. I go meet people. You know?
I want to ask something, because I this is something that I kind of harp on a lot. I've noticed that, not good, bad, or indifferent, like not that anyone was better or worse, but the people that you've kind of changed, like who was important in the beginning of your recovery to now. I think for me, I hear this a lot, like people get hooked on like someone in the beginning of your recovery that's like, say, your recovery bestie or your sponsor, whoever, has to be there for the next remainder of your recovery, like years later. And I'll speak for myself, like certain people have come and go in my life. Just not necessarily, I don't even know that like we outgrew each other or one of us out necessarily, but just like as my recovery evolved, I ended up, someone new would come into my life and I would like pick up on something that where I needed to grow based off of watching them. And I've noticed that with you, like the people that you surrounded yourself with, again, not as not looking at it negatively,
Right.
They're just different people.
Right.
And to who you hang out with today has changed.
Well, and it goes with the attraction thing, right? Like, I think the more that I've grown also too, like I attract, what I am becoming and the energy that I give off. So like, as I've evolved and my recovery has evolved, so have the people in my life. Do you know? And that's the same thing with being open-minded. My recovery is going to continue to evolve and to make sure that I continue to evolve with that and change. People are going to change in and out. My life is going to change. But one constant is that solution that will never change, which is the steps, the fellowship, your spiritual foundation, God, higher power, whatever that is. It's all in that web. There's so many different tools in that box.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and you don't have to have them all perfected at one time.
No.
You know?
Absolutely not.
Having I like, Ben, what you were saying, the caliber of people that we surround ourselves with, I think is probably one of the most important.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're going to hang around people that are, for lack of a better way to put it, losers, you're going to be a loser.
Mm-hmm.
If you hang around winners, you're going to be a winner.
Well, I want to say how Ben sees it through Destiny's story. Like, and you needed this in the beginning. And this ain't like, again, this is not a negative, but like the people that you hung out with in early recovery, what you all did, like, you were a bunch of knuckleheads. But you needed that because you needed to learn how to have fun in early recovery. Like you did, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did like a lot of like going out, going to shows. Like you're always with this group there was this meeting called, what was it called? Young, Dumb and Done, or
Young, fun and done. Young, fun and done. I think
young, done and full of fun.
Young, done and full of fun.
Or
yeah.
something. But like,
that was a good meeting.
But the thing is like what I'm getting at is like a bunch of young, wild people in early recovery that were just all about having fun. And then like I realized, like, as you've gotten into school, like now more the people you're surrounded with are like, for lack of a better way to put it, like more professional, if you will.
Like you and Tom.
I wasn't gonna say us, but sure. But like Renee comes to mind,
mm-hmm.
and people like that. Like you surround yourself with people that I think you are learning from in a different way now. Like in the beginning, it was good for you to be around young crazy people that go to the Ficky Paws.
Well,
and
but I saw these young kids that had done their steps, that were having fun, and of course, that absolutely grabbed my attention. Because up until that point, I hadn't experienced fun like that.
But then once you started having fun, and like then your life started growing professionally, like now I see you surrounding yourself with people that are very well established professionally, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the same as in our addictions. Our friends group changed. I mean, mine did. My friends changed based off of how much alcohol they could consume.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends tend to change, in our sobriety too, depending on where we want to go and what we want to accomplish.
And let's touch on this too. Like, and I think all three of us fall kind of in a different spot with this. Tom has his meeting that he likes with his old guys and smoke cigars, and
we're not all old.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well,
what's the youngest person there?
Me. And I'm 41.
Youngest, oldest person.
We're level 41, Tom.
The oldest is probably, I think, Peter. Peter's about to turn 60.
Is he? He looks great for 60. I thought you were going to say 50.
No, he's about to turn 60.
Wow.
Look, once you start getting the salt and pepper beard, you guys are officially classified as old, okay?
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, go ahead.
But anyway, so Tom had that. For me, like, I've always basically stuck to AA and like just learning more about that, like growing in that area. You got sober in AA. You now have an NA sponsor, but you're also going to ACA, which I think ACA is your main focus right now.
ACA is the main focus. That's my home group now.
Adult Children of Alcoholics.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, it's a 12-step, another 12-step fellowship.
It's a 12-step fellowship.
But I've just noticed you're constantly like, I've done this program, now I'm going to try this one and this one, like.
It's evolving.
I just want to continue to grow. That's one thing that I think was hammered into me in the beginning that still comes up for me, is that there is no final destination. There is no finish line. So I can continue to grow and learn and educate and stuff, and there is no stopping point, and that's just the drive that I've gotten being sober, being in sobriety. I've got a drive to want to know more.
Constantly remain a student.
Yes.
It's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, Destiny, I'm super proud of you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Thomas.
What?
Nothing.
What are you laughing at?
Like, just
Destiny's about to cry.
I know, man. Stop. Don't.
Getting a compliment from Tom is like...
It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I think I have the last compliment you gave me through text message. I screenshotted it. That's how important this is to me. I screenshot it because I was like, man, I'll never get it. It'll probably be a couple
I don't know if
years.
that's a good thing or a bad thing from my perspective.
It's not bad. I think you do it probably just to, I don't know, maybe make sure people stay humble.
I don't know. I think I appreciate you, but when I verbalize it, it holds weight.
It does hold weight. Because,
I appreciate you.
Yes, because you're just not one to verbalize.
Right. That's what I keep telling my wife. I don't understand. I appreciate you. Like, no.
That's different. That is way different.
Yeah. No, but I am. I'm proud of you and glad to call you a friend, glad to call you a colleague, and yeah, all that stuff. So, Ben, any final thoughts?
No, Tom's turning red. Let's bring it back to Tom.
Yeah, Tom.
No, let's start landing this plane. What are you guys up to? It's Monday. Any big plans for the week? I know for me, I'm leaving on Thursday to go to the Florida Keys. I'm going fishing. Me and Stevie Buckets. And Pepe and this guy Martin and my buddy Philip. You know Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're leaving Thursday. Going to Cujo Key, mile marker 26.
Mile marker 26.
Yep.
Did you not get an invite?
No.
Ouch.
No.
I mean, are you upset you're not going?
No.
Yeah, see?
I'm not upset. I got chest and shoulders to do today.
Oh, God. What about you, Destiny?
Work, gym, school, the same things I do every week. Nothing too exciting.
Okay. All right. We got Family Reconnect week 3 tomorrow, which week 3 will have already been passed by the time this episode airs. And good stuff. Family Reconnect, by the way, is our family program that we put together. We go live every Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And we have a curriculum and the whole deal and speakers. And basically it's for family members and loved ones to help you gain your sanity back and get support and guidance and all that fun stuff. So you can go to realrecoverytalk.com/FRC to get all the details and sign up if you want. And yeah, it's fun stuff. All right. Well, thanks, D-Dog.
Thanks, Thomas.
All right. That is it for this episode of Real Recovery Talk. Thank you for tuning in. In the end, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you could always reach us, info@realrecoverytalk.com. Again, that's info@realrecoverytalk.com. And ultimately, we want to help you turn your mess into your message. That is it. We will see y'all later.